We're doing something new. As you guys know, the podcast room has a YouTube channel. We're starting to create some stuff out there, and we've been releasing the video content of the podcast every week.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't think we were going to get the responses that we've gotten. There's some awesome positive ones.
It's been great.
It's been great.
Good stuff. I dig it.
What's the saying that they say? If people are responding negative, at least you know you're doing something right? Because not everything can be positive.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought it'd be cool thinking about calling it like comments from the listeners or something along those lines. But
sure. Totally impromptu.
Right?
Yeah,
so this is
podcast room is. We come in here, we talk it out, but this is like, all right, let's just throw it out there, throw a question, and see if we can answer it, right?
Yeah. So this is
a question and answer session. So if you want to put a comment on any of these podcasts, put the comment out there. We're gonna go like this. We'll read your comment. We'll talk about it. You can be in the podcast room, right? Just make a comment.
Yeah, literally make a comment. So I think what would be good is, and I'll do this in post too. So we have a comment from Fred Hoberg to this YouTube short. So here, let's give it a listen.
Sure. People are emotional beings, and everybody feels the same feelings. Everybody has highs and lows, and everybody's attracted to someone that makes them feel good. So if you can be walking around this world, adding value to people as you're passing by, making them feel even better, you can add value to their life. And believe it or not, they'll then try to help you add value to your life. I can tell you at the winery, Jeff's a good example of this. Jeff left a business where he was making really big money, and he left the business to come to an environment that he enjoyed being in more than what it was before. In the very beginning, he wasn't making the same money. I'm trying to get him to close to the same money, but it wasn't about the money. And it never is. It's always about feeling the relationship. Do I enjoy my time? And this goes back to, the saying you can make all kinds of money in the world, but if you hate what you're doing, what's it worth? You're never getting yesterday back.
So Frej, and if I'm mispronouncing your name, we do apologize. This is YouTube and it is the internet. So his comment to this, except that's not true. Everyone reacts different to emotions depending on past experiences, how they were raised, and many other things. What about people with any kind of mental illness, which is pretty high percentage of society? And what about people with autism, ADHD, DID, and everything in between? I don't know what DID is. Maybe it's a spelling error. Randy, let's expand on that a little bit here.
So I'm with you, Fresh. So the first sentence there, I'm with you 100%. People will react based upon past experiences of life. I'm 100% with you. But the point I'm making there is everyone feels excited at some point. Everybody feels sad at some point. Everybody feels the spectrum of emotions. We all feel those, right? We're all far more alike than different. Right? Put it simple. So I agree with that, right? And you will react based upon your past. So now I'm with you. How they're raised, yep, other things. What about people with any kind of natural or mental illnesses? I'm with you. I mean, there are people that are born today with challenges. But I would also like to say that, if someone's born with a challenge, I look at it as this is the lot in life that life gave them. And it's kind of, it may sound mean and nasty, but I'm a guy that didn't graduate from high school till age 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was kind of given this. I didn't learn how to read until I was in like 6th grade. And like Joseph Boy's in kindergarten. He can already read some words. I'm like thinking, man, I was in 6th grade. So did I fall in that category? Absolutely. I was in that category. I was the one that, that instead of taking a test where they would just sit you down and you'd read the test and take it, they had to read it to me. And they took me to a special room, and I was that guy in the special room, and I was the guy, that was basically treated as if I had a mental problem, because I did. I had parents that were getting divorced. I lived in a crazy house. There was drug use going on all over the place. It was a messed up environment. So yeah, but the thing is, it's what we do with it. It's the choices that we make. And I basically decided: is the illness going to own me, or am I going to own it? And am I going to go? Am I going to make an excuse, or am I going to make a way? And that's it. We either make a way in life or we make an excuse. And I can say, well, now I was raised by parents, my dad and mom were fighting like crazy. I was younger, didn't go to school much, dropped out of school. In fact, I was kicked out of one school for fighting. Wasn't even allowed to go to school anymore. So now that's why I didn't accomplish anything with my life. I found an excuse. Or I can go, no. I'm not going to let the past define me. I'm going to let the past refine me. And I'm going to use those refinements to turn me into a stronger version than who I was yesterday. When we look at life like this, all these problems, all these challenges that life gives you, it makes you stronger. It makes you better. I think now I wish life was more challenging when I was younger, because I would be a stronger person today. That's what it's all about. So all this stuff, but no, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Life can throw some nasty things at you. Ugly things happen. You cannot control a lot of times what happens to you, but you can control your response to it every single time. We always have the ability to control our response. It's the last choice we have of a human being. You can be stripped naked, beaten, and just totally annihilated, but you still have a choice of how you respond to it. There's that story I told of the guy who was in prison, and he was buried in a prison cell under the earth. But he realized if I got up on a stool and I looked out a little crack that was in the stone wall, I could see a single blade of grass. He goes, for years, I went on vacation with that single blade of grass. That's the mental attitude. So yeah, is life going to be hard? It will be hard. It's going to be hard. Our job is to use all that hardness to make us stronger. That's it. Great stuff, though. I'm with you on all this.
Great stuff. Fresh Hoberg, you done got Randy.
Oh, good stuff, man. I dig it. I mean, I can tell you this other real quick here. If you study people with autism and things like that, I learn a lot from people that have autism.
Yeah.
So much. They can't worry. They don't worry about stuff. They live in the moment.
That's cool.
Right? It's
I wish
so
I
cool.
could do that to an extent.
I mean, exactly. They focus on in the moment. They live in the moment. They cannot worry. There's a lot to learn. Great stuff. I mean, I think of my friend Tommy D. He has a grandson, autism. He goes, I've learned so much from that young man. I look up to him so much. Now, I'm with you, Tommy D.
Wow.
So no, it's a great question. I love that stuff.
Wow. Joe Vagan says, nobody likes being criticized, but without criticism, you get nothing.
I'm with you.
But yes, men and in business, it isn't good because major mistakes will be made, which would cost you a crap ton of money. Two things wrong here. What's a crap ton of money?
All right. So I'm with you, Joe. On your question here, it says, nobody likes being criticized. 100%. I don't like it. You don't like it. Ralph doesn't like it. Beth. None of it. No one likes that. But without criticism, you would never get better. And in fact, when you sit down and take a test, you know the teacher is going to criticize your test.
Yes.
It's called grading the test, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to pass it or not pass it. That's where it all begins. Without criticism, we go nowhere, right? And it only through stretching and getting better and stronger and through criticism will we get better. If you run a race with a bunch of people and you lose, they beat you. You know what I mean? So criticism, I say, if I give a presentation, I always follow up with them and go, what was my worst part? What was my best part? What could have I done better? Please look at me in a way that I can't look at me, because I can't see me the way you see me. And if I can get one glimpse, a little bit of a glimpse through your eyes at me, I can make myself better. It's only through the criticism and through where are my weaknesses, where are my blind spots that I can actually see. Because if I walk around with no criticism in my life and I just don't let anyone say anything bad about me, I will never get better, ever, 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 ever. The key, though, is you never let other people's opinion define who you are. That's it. Because their opinion is their opinion. And if they criticize me, yeah, they may be trying to help me, but they're also, if someone's criticizing words to me to hurt me, the speaker's words are speaking to the condition of the speaker's heart, nothing else, right? Okay, so then there was something else here. So men in businesses, good because major mistakes, all capitalized, will be made, which will cost you a lot of money. All right, so Joe, when you hire someone, I say this, you're betting on the individual. And if you hire someone, you're betting on them. And most businesses, they love the wins. They love it when someone does a good thing, it makes the company money, and they got the win. But then what happens is the individual will have a loss. They'll make a decision and they lose money. I'm sorry, if you hired them, you bet on the individual. You get the wins with the losses. You bet on the person. And I don't know if I said it on a podcast, but this happened with Teresa a couple weeks back. Teresa ended up double selling a ticket or something, and she had to refund money. And she did something that cost the company $100. I forget, it was something like that. I don't even know what the money was, because she was giving me an envelope, and in the envelope, she goes, there's a check in there from me. I made a mistake, and it cost the company $100.
She wrote you a check?
Yeah, Teresa. Sure. Yeah, not your mom, the other Teresa.
Oh, I was like, Teresa Lucchese?
No.
You dog.
Underground experience, Teresa. She wrote me a check, and I looked at her and go, Teresa, I bet on you. What do you, I didn't even, I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, well, I lost you money. I go, well, I bet on you. And she still didn't quite get it. I ripped the check up and I walked away and I go, let me go back and explain this. I go, when I hire you, I'm betting on you. I'm not betting on just the wins. I'm betting on your wins and your losses. If you have more losses than wins, I'm going to stop betting on you. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. So with this question, yeah, mistakes will be made. But I would say, when you bet on someone, if someone makes a mistake and it costs you money, whew, man, you could lose a whole lot more by making that the focal point of their entire job. It's like the saying, if you have people and you don't train them, you're actually running a giant risk. Because what if you train them and they lose? They leave a week later. Well, you spent the money on training them. They left a week later. You lost the money. What if you don't train them and they stay?
Yeah.
Right. When you bet on the person, you bet on the person. You get the wins with the losses. If you're a business owner and you want to stop betting on them, ask them to leave. Pennsylvania's an at-will state. For Pennsylvania, say, I just don't think I should be betting on you anymore. I love who you are, but I don't like decisions you're making. And that's it. But I would say, take the wins with the losses. But with people you're hiring, make sure you got more wins than losses. This is where it comes back to telling the truth. Just say it the way it is all the time. Because if you're telling the truth and you're saying it the way it is all the time, you won't get someone out of hand where they're losing giant money on you. It just won't happen. That's a great one, though.
That's a good one.
Hope we answered it, Joe.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. I hope you guys see. We want to interact.
Yeah,
Randy definitely wants to reach out to.
I love this. I love this more. You notice that? I came alive.
Yeah.
I love the impromptu. I love when questions get thrown at me in the moment. Hit it. Let's do it. Let's read it and let's respond. And away we go. I love this. So post if you go on YouTube and find
it's under the podcast room.
Yep, the podcast room YouTube channel. And you'll see Ralph puts out these little snippets of the podcast. Comment in there, and I would beat me up. Push against me. People say, I love when Ralph pushes back. Push back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me some pushback. Go, Randy, I don't know. I'm not buying it. And then, and write a comment here. We'll read it on air and we'll answer it on air.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. If you guys look at it on the podcast room site, the Randy Detrick podcast, Living on Purpose, has its own section. So every week the episodes are uploaded on there. Yep. And then throughout the week, there's tiny shorts coming out of all the topics going on there. So you don't like what you hear, don't be afraid to let us know.
Just let us know.
But just know that we're going to come back.
Or I'm going to agree.
Or he's going to agree.
No, I'm wrong.
Or he'll agree.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And here's what's neat. Last 28 days, how many people have watched this thing?
Oh, it's actually really cool. And again, this is like a thank you for everybody. So in the course of 28 days, I could actually do from the lifetime of this channel being open. Randy, just to show the impact that Randy's currently having, and this is something that I think should be addressed. Over the course of the time, you've had over 277 hours of viewing content just on the page alone, just from YouTube. The channel has gotten 42,000 views.
That's wild. I'm grateful, guys.
It's incredible.
My mission is to add value to people's lives, and I hope the words that come out of my mouth comes into your mind and adds value to you and your family, your work, your career, your life.
Yeah, absolutely. So respond, guys, because we will talk back.
Yeah, put a comment out there. Let's do it.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, y'all. Love you.